Welcome guys, today I'm going to program this from the Elitech Etc-974A into freezer, which have a temperature of 21 degrees Celsius negative to negative 12 degrees Celsius. To begin, let's start for this set, and that is number 0. This is number 0, and that is under the temperature set point. So the unit of measurement is degrees Celsius, and the default is 4 degrees Celsius. Since we are in a freezer setting, my set point for this is negative 21. Therefore, for 0, I will put negative 21 degrees Celsius because this is a degree Celsius. And next for that is the number 1, which is the PA1. It means it is the administrator PIN password, and the password for that is 125. So in order for you to change or enter the programming, just use 125 for the password. And for the number 2, and the number 2 is the differential 21 to 12, and that is 9 degrees Celsius. Therefore, our differential is set to 9 degrees Celsius, and came from 21 minus 12 is 9 degrees Celsius. This is the cutoff of the compressor, and this value is the cut-in of the compressor by putting 9 degrees Celsius, because the differential is the one who will cut your compressor. I hope that is clear. And number 3, okay, you should take a look for this, guys. I'm not going to rewrite the description here. I will just add my program. And for the number 3, is the higher set max possible set point, and the default for this is 99 degrees Celsius, and my highest is 12 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bring this down 12 degrees Celsius, so this will be my highest set point. And for the number 4, number 4 is the LSE, which is the lower set minimum possible set point, and the default for this is positive 50 degrees Celsius, and my minimum is negative 21. Therefore, I'm going to bring down the negative 21 direct. Okay, some unscrupulous question me that it is not necessary to program the LSE. This is the LSE and the HSE, but I beg to disagree. This is for customization, and you're going to limit once the person want to change your set point. You're here, this set here, this is the set point, and the number 1 is the PA1, and the number 2 is the differential. If someone try to change your set point, they cannot go beyond the negative 12, or they cannot go beyond negative 22 because of this value I put in the LSE and the HSE. Under the number 5, which is the ONT, ONT says the on-time compressor activation time in the event of a faulty probe. This is Elitech, but the control is being installed, so we're only discussing, guys. I repeat, this is LUL ID 974. The program is same with this Elitech. And in the event of the room sensor got a problem, because this is the room sensor for the Elitech, for the LUL, I mean. Once this sensor got a problem, the number 5 here, which is the ONT, will take charge, and the operation is in time, not in temperature, as these degrees Celsius are all in temperature. So I'm going to put a value for this. I want that my compressor will on once the control got a problem or the sensor got a problem, and I want that my unit will run for 10 minutes. and it will off. We're going to use the OFT number 6 here, OFT, and I want my compressor to off. After 10 minutes of on, it will off for 5 minutes, so I can eliminate any frost formation in my evaporator. And this is my setting, and I'm not going to spoil the product in the cabinet because I'm in freezer, which is my set point is negative 21. So ganun lang itong purpose nito guys ha. Mag-on ang ating compressor ng 10 minutes, mag-off ng 5 minutes kapag faulty ang ating room sensor. Kapag faulty ito ha, may time na nagfo-faulty ito. Sa differential 9 ito dahil ito yung ating SSD cut-in. Cut-in of the compressor. There. Cut-in. While the set point here is the cut-off compressor. So, in the event of the faulty probe, the compressor will run for 10 minutes and will off for 5 minutes. So, you must program that one. And the manufacturer set that to 1 and 0 for the on. And let's proceed guys to number 7, and the number 7 is the DON, and it says there, delay at on compressor delay time in activating the compressor relay after switch on the instrument. The manufacturer set it to 0, so ideally we must put a 1 minute delay for the on of the compressor. We're going to delay the activation of the compressor. This is protection just in case we got a problem with the compressor. We prevent the on and off of the compressor. This is ideal. And let's proceed guys to number 8. Punta tayo sa number 8. The number 8 is the DBI, delay between power on. Delay between the switch on. The indicated time must be elapsed between the 2 successive switch on of the compressor, and it's set to 0. No need, we will going to set that to 0 minute. And number 9, DOF stand for delay after power off. Delay after switch off. The indicated time must be elapsed between switch off of the compressor relay and then the successive switch on. Okay, we don't need to do that. Just put 0 there. I'm not interested in explaining this guys. I just what matter to me is this, the ONT and the OFT. And the number 10, the number 10 is OD. OD means delay output from power on, delay time in activating the outputs after switch on of the controller or after power failure. So for me, I agree with the manufacturer to set that to 0 minute. If you have this control guys, just read it. If you want to use, no problem, but for me, I don't want. Who knows, you like it. Let's proceed to number 11, and the 11 is DTY. Now we are in defrost. DTY is the type of defrost. This is the type of defrost. If you choose number 1, take note guys, number 1, reverse cycle defrost, that is hot gas. If you choose 0, is electrical. So for freezer, automatic, this is electrical. So put a 0 there or just leave it to default. So we are in electrical. So this is electrical defrosting. Just put 0 there. And let's proceed to number 12. And number 12 is the DIT. And the DIT is the defrost interval time, interval between the start of 2 successive defrost operation. The default value for that is 6, and ideally 6 is for chiller, and we are in freezer. Therefore, I'm going to use 4 or 3 here, 4 hours. Just set it to 4, meaning every 4 hours, and electrical defrosting will happen to your unit. For example, the unit is installed in a busy restaurant like Jollibee, put 6 here. You don't need to defrost the unit every 4 hours. So it depends. And let's proceed, guys, to number 13. We are now in number 13. The number 13 is the DCT and DCT defrost counting type. Selection of count mode for the defrost interval. 0 compressor operating hour. 1 fixed time interval. 2 compressor stop hour. So in this case, we just set it to number 1, which is the manufacturer recommendation, and that is the fixed time interval for the DCT. Just choose 1 there. And next is the number 14, and number 14 is the defrost offset hour, start off defrost delay, time from start up of the control. We don't need this, guys. You don't need to set the value of the DOH. It says that this is a defrost offset hour, start of defrost delay, time from start up of the control. If you want your control to be start up of the defrost, there is a delay. No need, don't put any delay for that, just put it to 0. And the DET 15, DET, and the DET defrost endurance time, defrost time out, DET 0, defrost is disabled. So at this time, do not put this into 0. If you put DET into 0, no defrost will happen, because there is no counting will be happening once you set it to 0. Therefore, the manufacturer set that to 30 minutes, and 30 minutes no problem for me, but let's put it to 20 minutes because we have a 4-hour defrosting, so I don't want this to prolong. But don't worry, we have a DST, and the DST is measured with the evaporator sensor, and this is the room sensor. Once the evaporator sense the heat of the defrost heater, this is serve as the thermal cutoff of the heater, and it will terminate the defrost. And we just put 20 minutes there. Even we put 30 minutes there, no problem, because we have the DST, and later we're going to discuss that. After the number 15, we now proceed to number 16. The number 16 is the H42, and H42 says whether to enable evaporator sensor, why yes, no, and this is what I'm talking to you. A moment later, you put this to why. You don't need to put this to no. Once you are in chiller, you can put this into no, but for freezer, never put this into no. So it says here, it's up to us if you want to disable the evaporator sensor, but for me, for freezer, do not disable this. So just put it to Y as the recommendation of the manufacturer. And then after that, let's proceed to number 17. And number 17 is the DST, and this is what I'm talking about. The DST, this is the defrost stop temperature. The manufacturer set that to 8 degrees Celsius, and for me, this is ideal for both chiller and freezer. So just put 8 minutes there, or 8 minutes degrees Celsius, I mean. So don't worry. If a defrost happen, the sensor reads the evaporator temperature. Once it reads 8 degrees Celsius, it will cut the defrosting. So it doesn't matter if whether you put 40 minutes, 30 minutes here, because of this DST. And this DST is measured with temperature, but once you disable the H42, which is the evaporator sensor, once you put it into no, this will never take place, because the defrosting for you is count by time, not by temperature. If you put the number 16, which is the H42, into no, take note for that. And let's proceed to number 18. Sa mga Tagalog, take note nyo dito sa DST, guys, ha. Kapag tinaga nyo yung H42 sa no, meaning ang defrost natin, itong DIT natin, magiging ang count nito is time, not by temperature. Kapag active ito, time ito. Ibig sabihin, 20 minutes kapag active ito, ha. Itong 20 minutes na to, hindi niya tatapusin yan as long na na-read ng ating DST na 8 degrees Celsius na yung ating evaporator, dahil sa nag-go-glow o mainit yung ating heater. Kapag nakalagay ito sa no, yung no ideal for chiller lang, ha. Kapag nakalagay sa no, automatic natatapos niya yung 20 minutes. Okay, let's proceed to number 18. I just reiterate that for my Tagalog viewers, and that is my highest views I got in the Philippines. Second is USA, so I prefer English. I prefer to speak English right now. So DPO stand for defrost at power on. We don't need to start the defrost at power on. For example, the unit is turned off. If you power on, it will defrost. No need, you don't need that. You don't need that. DPO. The manufacturer said that to N, and we also use that for N. We're going to program that for N also. Means no. And let's proceed to, where are we now? 18 DPO. FST. We are now in fan management. Until here, these are all defrosts. And here are all about compressor. Now we are entering the fan management. FST 19. FST. Under the FST, which is the fan stop temperature, the manufacturer set it to 2 degrees Celsius. And if you select this one at the start up of the compressor, the fan will activate at 2 degrees Celsius, and you don't want this to happen. Therefore, you're going to set this to 25 degrees Celsius or 15 degrees Celsius. It's up to you, but do not follow this one, guys. Because at the startup of the compressor, the evaporator fan will not be going to turn on unless this evaporator sensor sends 2 degrees Celsius, and it will activate the on of this fan motor. To fix that issue, put higher value so that at the startup, the fan motor will activate as fast as will activate. And next, let's go to number 20. And number 20 is the FAD, fan activation differential. For the differential, just put 2 degrees Celsius on it and there is no problem. What is that? What is this differential? Differential is the cut-in of the evaporator. And next, let's proceed to number 21, which is the FDT. FDT, fan delay time. Delay time in activating fans after a defrost operation. When the defrost happen, we want that the fan motor will not cheat. We will going to delay yet the activation, and FDT for the manufacturer they set to 0, but ideally we're going to delay that for 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to delay the activation of the fan motor. The reason for this, guys, is that the water drips to the drain pan will go to the drain pipe and goes to the drain heater. No, goes to the drain pan. And let's give a time for at least 3 to 2 minutes for the FDT. And after that, we also have, for the 22, we have the DT, which is the dripping time. Dripping time. This is drainage time, dripping time. The manufacturer set that to 0, but ideally give a value of 2 degrees Celsius. Oh no, 2 degrees. Oh, sorry, 2 minutes for the dripping time. And for the FDF, it says here, defrost fan disabled. Allow to select the evaporator probes exclusion during defrost. Evaporator probe exclusion during defrost. here's what I'm saying a moment ago. This is the evaporator sensor. The other one here is the room sensor. If we want to exclude this sensor, we can select Y or we can select no. If this is active, just select Y here under the H42. If this is active, select Y for the FDF. If you select no, you can select no also here to be excluded during defrost. Defrost fan disabled. Reason for this, guys, is that we are in electrical defrosting. In electrical defrosting, we need to turn off this fan motor during defrosting. So for the reason, we need to select no for this. No. You should exclude the fan motor activation during defrost unless we are in hot gas defrosting. But we are in freezer. Hot gas defrosting for freezer is impossible, and we didn't yet implemented that. So for FDF, select N. We need to exclude the fan motor during defrosting. And FCO 24 FCO, and FCO says here fan compressor off. Fan compressor off. Here the compressor have a fan motor, so we call this condenser fan motor. To be selected, compressor it says here fan compressor off. Allow selecting compressor fan lock off, switch off, fan activated. If you select Y, fans activated. If you select N, fans off. Of course we want this to be turned on, so we choose Y here for the FCO. And next, guys, is 25, and the 25 is AFD, and AFD alarm fan differential. Again, just put it to 2 degrees Celsius as a default value. And 26 HAL, and HAL is high alarm differential. So here the default is 50 degrees Celsius, and I want you to take a look with my HSE, which is the highest temperature alarm, and we set that to negative. Here, this is negative 12 degrees Celsius. Just add here, we just add 10 here, so therefore my highest temperature is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 10, no, negative 12 plus 10 equals negative 2. Therefore my highest temperature is negative 2 for freezer, degrees Celsius. And don't worry, prior to the activation of this, once the sensor, room sensor, reads negative 2, a high temperature alarm will activate, and there is a delay for this. Later we're going to discuss that. And let's proceed now to 27, and that is lull. And lull is lowest or low alarm differential, and the manufacturer set it to negative 50. And take a look with our set point. Our set point is negative 21. Therefore, we're going to add that negative 21 plus 10. Take a look with my set point. My set point is negative 21, and I want to add 7 degrees Celsius here. Therefore 21 plus 7 is 28. So my lowest is negative 28 degrees Celsius. by reaching this value, a low temperature alarm will activate it. And let's proceed to 28, and 28 is power on alarm override, alarm exclusion time after controller switch on or after a power failure. Just set this to 0, and this is PAO. And 29, defrost alarm override. Okay, just set that to 0 also. DAO, defrost alarm override. Temperature alarm override, temperature alarm signal delay time. Here 30, 29, just set it to 0 guys. 30, DAO. Okay, here DAO, we're going to delay the activation of these two alarm here. We're going to delay the activation, and we're going to set it to 2 minutes. 2 minutes we're going to delay, just in case that a low temperature alarm, the room sensor reads the -20 or -2, and after that a 2 minutes will count prior to the activation of the -2. So if this happens, the compressor is not active, so maybe a +5 or a +10, because we use the TO to delay the activation of this low temperature or highest temperature alarm. And just put 1 to 2 minutes here, but if you want, just set it to 0, no problem for that. And after that, we proceed now to 31, and 31 is keyboard lock. Keyboard lock. If you want to lock, put to Y. If you don't want to unlock, put to N. And next is 32, PA1 password. We already have a PA1 here, and the password is 125. Next 33, NDT display here. NDT number display type, view with decimal point. Y, no. Okay, here with decimal point, just put it to Y as a default. For example, the value is -18.5, something like that. There is a decimal point in it. If you doesn't want to show the -0.5, just select N. And 33 is NDT. And 34, okay, this is our last. This is CA1.